Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to Earth, and I just want to introduce GrannyDeepSea again, and she's got some words for us to hear.
I'm gonna enter in and up into your skin like a splinter, the center of attention, back for the winner. I'm interesting. The best thing since wrestling. And we're gonna change the Bible today, folks. Are you ready? Okay. I went to the bookstore a long time ago. We're talking like 35 years. And I got a book called On the Kabbalah and Its Symbolism. See, I've been studying all kinds of ancient languages, ancient writing systems, cuneiform, Egyptian, all kinds of stuff. But I had never done the Bible because I thought it had been translated. So I get this book, and it's these rabbis from a long time ago who have been handed down all the ancient secrets of the Bible for years, and that's what the Kabbalah was at that time. So 1,000 years ago, here's the rumor. One of the rabbis said the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible, he says the Torah is a jumble of letters. They can't even read it. I said, huh? Then the next guy, he got real technical. In the last days, the Torah will change. Different vowel points will be added, and different spaces will be placed between the letters, and the Torah will read of completely different things. I said, hold your horses. So I didn't know anything about Hebrew, didn't know how that could possibly be said, didn't know what a vowel point was. So I knew I had to go study. So I started studying the Bible. Now, the thing about the Torah is there's 304,805 consonants all squished together in one long word. That's how it is right now. The rabbis tell you they know how to read it. And of course they were like, inundated at 13, so we can trust those 13-year-olds that they passed down the code, right? Yeah, they did what they were told to do for the last 3,000 years. Thank you, rabbis, for just saying everything they told you to say perfectly. Yeah, you were lying, but that's okay. So right now we're gonna get back to the truth. So the vowel point is something in Hebrew that's very important. A verb in Hebrew starts with 3 consonants. Everybody's heard of Bethlehem, I hope. Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. Okay, Beth means house. Lehem, L-H-M, is called a triplet, a 3-letter consonant triplet. Depending on which 2 vowels we put in here, we're going to change the meaning of this word. So Bethlehem, if you put these 2 vowels, it means house of bread. If you put these other 2 vowels, it means house of war. There are no vowels. So how do we know if it's a house of bread or a house of war? We don't. They tell you they know. I do not believe them. Why? Because the rabbis tell us in the last days the Torah will change, different vowel points will be added, different spaces will be placed between the letters, and the Torah will read of completely different things. Now, I said, wait a minute, is this going to be easy or hard? Because I didn't know what happened. So the first thing you got to do is find out who actually wrote down the words. Everyone says God said them, great. We'll just start with that. God said them, but who put the pen on the papyrus here, folks? Who actually wrote down this book? That was Moses. Where did Moses go to school? Oh, Egypt. You think the Hebrew slaves had a language? If they did, oh my gosh, how did they manage that? But in any case, I'm telling you right now, Moses, the guy who wrote it, had been going to school in Egypt his whole life. So now let's go check Egyptian. What's interesting about Egyptian is that it's written ink on papyrus. So, when I was studying my other stuff before I ever got to the Bible in Egyptian, I knew that cuneiform, the writing system of that area, was done on clay tablets. There was so much clay, you never had any chance of running out of clay in Mesopotamia, because that's where the flood was, and that's the flood clay. So once you get to Egyptian territory, though, there's no more floodplain, there's no more clay. They had to make papyrus, which was very difficult to do. They had to grind the ink, and they had to add the little stuff so that they could write with ink on papyrus, and you ran out of ink. I'm telling you right now, if you had to rewrite the same letter over and over again, just so that you could make everything sound right, then you would come up with a different system. So, think about Latin. You know how in Latin you have to say all those vowels over and over and over again, and it keeps the cases, it keeps everything exactly right? Well, yeah, that's because of what I'm talking about right now happened. because the way they did it back then got messed up, and it totally messed up the Torah. So this is actually, I believe, how it goes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I had a teacher who once told me, hey, that's a great theory, send it on to somebody else. They tested it wrong, they were wrong, but that's okay. It's a valid theory. Watch this. So let's say you're the scribe, and you're trying to keep your ink okay. And the way that you tell the difference between past, present, and future is the direction of writing. So if you write to the left, it's past. If you write to the right, it's future. And if you write straight up and down, it's present tense. The Egyptians use these directions of writing. The Egyptians are also said to not have vowels in their language, just like the Hebrew. So they're also, both Hebrew and Egyptian are said to have no perfect tenses of past, present, and future, but they had history, taxes, and prophecy. That's past, present, and future. So since they had that in their culture, you would expect to be able to find it in their writing system. Since it's not there, I said, no, I don't believe that. So if the direction of writing actually told you the tense and told you which vowel was automatically added so that you would know the correct meaning, then we have a language system here I can get behind, because I do not believe for 1 second that God made a language that requires the vowels to know the truth and then didn't give you the vowels. Don't believe you for 1 second. So now let's go back to that Torah scroll of 304,805 letters, and some guy, remember Moses did not get to go into the promised land. He broke the rock and he had to go up on the mountain and die. And so he's up on the mountain dead, and this poor new scribe over here does not know what to do when he rewrites the Torah scroll. So he just writes it in the past tense direction, all to the left. When he did that, anything that had been written to the left would have remained okay. Like in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That was already written to that direction, so it was saved properly. Anything that was written in any other direction just got sent to the left without the proper translational tools of adding the semi-vowels in so that you would know exactly what the passage was supposed to mean originally and what it means now. So since they made that error, that did turn the Torah scroll into a jumble of letters, and it's probably impossible to fix it, but maybe a computer could do it, because this is what I really think happened. What I think happened is some king came along and said to some scribe, I need to know what that book says, and if you don't tell me now, I'm going to kill you and get someone who can do it. Now, if that is the case, and that's actually what happened, I'm pretty sure that scribe would have picked up those letters and came up with something, and that's what we have now. And so, basically, another thing about Hebrew is the letter D and the letter R are very close. There's just one teeny corner's worth of difference. I bet if he could come up with any type of, this kind of could be a D, and then that would be a word. I bet he did that all day long. So, if we can make the computer understand all the parameters of past, present, and future, then we can send the computer in to look for some type of beginning of a Rosetta Stone style key where it says, wait, we found an actual something, and then they can go from there to get the retranslation back online. Then it won't be a jumble of letters anymore.
Whatever, it's fine.
Keep going.
It's all fine.
Thank you for coming to Earth.